What's going on? Welcome to week 11. This week 11 edition of 100 yards and running. We got some breaking news. This week, I'm not by myself. Let's bring on my brother August Stevens from Houston.
Whoa, nah, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Good to have you this week, brother. We
Yes,
missed you
sir.
last week, man.
Yeah, man. I had some things come up at the last second. My bad's out of people and everything, but I'm back, man. Let's get the thing going.
Hey, let's get right into it. We got some breaking news to start with. The New York Football Jets firing their general manager after the Jets losing a heartbreaker at MetLife Stadium to the Indianapolis Colts, losing by a score of 28-27. What are your thoughts on the Jets firing their general manager?
Hey, listen, man. At this point, I think it's crucial that they go and just kind of do a complete rehaul. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is clearly not in. Bringing in a 33-year-old Devontae Adams was clearly not in. Nothing that coach was doing was it, so he's gone. Nothing that GM was doing is working, so he's gone. At this point, it's a complete and entire overhaul, and that's exactly what the Jets need, man. They need someone who's confident, who could come in and really evaluate talent, get a young quarterback in there, get a young core in there, and maybe, just maybe, they could catch up with the Bills in that division.
I mean, when I first heard about this firing of the general manager, I said it's about damn time. The Jets should have did this last season.
Yeah,
Bringing in Aaron Rodgers, you bring in Salah, then you let him go after how many seasons he did? Like 4 seasons with the Jets,
yeah,
and they did not make the playoffs not one time.
yeah.
Now that y'all firing your general manager, I get that you bringing in Aaron. I get that you bring in Devontae Adams. You let go Mike Williams. You let him go to Pittsburgh. The Jets, it's a sad organization, and it's sad to say that because I was a former fan of the Jets myself. And seeing this organization fall flat on their face, trying to bring Aaron to save this organization, it's not working. You're not making the playoffs this year. That is out the window.
So,
Jets, they right now, and not to cut you off, right now, to me, they're just battling for that position in the draft because you keep losing these close games and you're firing all these people. It makes no sense to me.
it does. It makes all the sense in the world, man, when you consider how that team was structured and you consider what they've been doing this far. Look, if you ask me, I think they were trying to take a page out of the New England Patriots book, and it just bit them in the ass. What I mean is, you bring in a guy like you have Tom Brady in the New England Patriots, and Tom Brady, regardless on what anyone says, was helping Bill Belichick bring in people to New England. He was helping make those decisions, and that's what the Jets were planning on with Aaron Rodgers. He is the only reason why Devontae Adams was bought in, right? Some of these other guys that were bought in from the Packers organization to the Jets, and it's just not working, man. These guys are not in their youth anymore. The talent has dwindled down, and at this point, they all came to New York for that final paycheck as well.
I mean, it's a sad position to be a Jets fan. It's a sad position to be in that organization.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
more teams, man. No more teams. It went down this weekend. It was only one team left that was undefeated. Undefeated, no more. I want to dive right into this game. Kansas City, Buffalo, Allen, Mahomes. I expected this to happen, and I called the Bills on this one because that defense and what Josh Allen is doing
Yeah.
with those receivers around him, the running back is amazing. The coach knows exactly what he's doing on the defensive end of the ball. Talk to me about this one.
Look, man, Buffalo, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Buffalo's a real contender, man. Yes, they have their problem, but Buffalo is one of the teams that is built with the mindset to defeat Kansas City because they know that Kansas City, when you're going through the AFC, that is the final boss of the AFC, Kansas City, and they know they have to beat them. Now, here's the trick: if they have to play them again in the playoffs, can they defeat them? Because now you've shown your hand, they know what you're going to pull out, and you can't go into that game with the same game plan you went into this one. Yes, this worked, but you're going to have to find something else. You're going to have to find another weakness because it seems like every other week Kansas City is bringing in another guy for $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And we're all like, how are you assembling the Avengers on the Kansas City Chiefs for this budget? And hey, they're doing what the Patriots did. You want to win the Super Bowl, you come here and you do it for pennies on the dollar.
Well, my take on this game is this: it's about time. I knew it was going to happen, and to me, it's good for Kansas City because if they lose now,
Mhm.
being the fact that the talent that they have on both sides of the ball, the fact that they are losing now, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mahomes is only going to get better. Those receivers, you got Isaiah Pacheco coming back. You got Juju Smith-Schuster that came back. You still got DeAndre Hopkins. You still got Travis Kelsey. You got
Yeah, you
Noah
see what I'm
Grant,
saying?
and
They
they
got
got so
everybody,
many.
bro.
It's so many pieces in Kansas City right now. Yeah, this is their first loss, but this to me is only going to make them dangerous in the playoffs, and that's bad for everybody else because right now the AFC Championship game runs through Kansas City.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You got not to mention with all those weapons, you got the gunslinger himself, Patrick Mahomes. And the only look, I'm gonna be real, and I do not wish this on anybody, but the only way you silence Kansas City is by taking Patrick Mahomes completely out of the situation. And, and look, call it whatever you want, a bounty gate, whatever, but that's the only way I see it. Because as long as he's in the picture, they're gonna keep on chugging along. It don't matter who they have because they'll get a guy that's been on the bench the whole year and make him look like a Pro Bowler. Like so,
Those are straight facts. I agree with you on that one. Man, what a week 11 we had, bro. Like, it's so many games to discuss. I want to Thursday night. That was
yeah,
just the start of it. The Commanders and the Eagles. Both of those teams was battling for first place in the NFC least, I call it,
yeah,
because we know that the Giants, and I'm going to get on them and what they did, they decided to do going further down the show.
yeah,
But
yeah.
getting back to the Commanders and the Eagles, this was a battle for first place. And to me, right now, and that game was played in Philly, and I said it was going to happen. The Eagles are going to start off slow, but once
Yep.
they find that stride to get hot and they start trusting in their offensive line and letting their receivers run their routes and Saquon be Saquon, the Eagles is dangerous now, man. Talk to me.
Look, man, you did you said it. You said it. And I think a lot of people had hopes in the Commanders. But they gotta remember, man, their quarterback is a rookie. They're coming off of a hot streak. They have a young, talented team, so they're gonna be there for a while. Now the key is, can Jalen Hurts pull it all together, right? Because the Eagles seem to do this every year as long as Jalen Hurts has been there. They kind of become on the borderline. Are they for real? Are they not? And then they show us, yeah, we're for real. But then when it comes to the playoffs, he kind of has that same curse that Lamar Jackson has. You know what I mean? Not too much success.
I mean, it's a lot of like we've been saying for past shows. It's a lot of numerous quarterbacks that is so talented in the NFL, and we're seeing that in Jaden Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing these quarterbacks develop each year. Most of them, not all,
Yeah.
because we've seen what Carolina did with Bryce Young. They benched him,
Yep.
and now they're bringing him back, and he's winning games. They beat the Giants last week. Speaking
Ooh.
of the New York Football Giants, they decided to bench Daniel Jones this week, and
Yeah.
they're starting backup quarterback Tommy DeVito in their next game.
Yeah.
What made the Giants decide now is the time to bench Daniel Jones?
The fact that they've given this man chance at the chance, the fact that maybe they're paying him $50 million and they're wondering why the hell did we do that? The fact that they only really paid him because they couldn't get a quarterback. Because let's keep in mind, they were going to draft a quarterback. If they could have moved up, they would have drafted a quarterback. That's facts. And I guess they tried to give him a chance. They got Malik Neighbors. They're like, all right. We couldn't get a quarterback, but we got everything to put around this guy. And now he's still the drizzling shits. So now it's just like, okay, we got to put 12 on this guy. We'll go with Tommy DeVito for the rest of the season, and hopefully they'll end up with a good draft pick. You know what I mean? I guess that's what they're planning on.
Dude, they made a sandwich about this guy, Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, man.
They say that he was red hot going into last year when he got won them a couple of games. I've
Yeah.
said this week two. The Giants, y'all signing all these quarterbacks and he bringing Drew Lock from Seattle. That he thought he was going to do something. That's another quarterback that y'all got stinking up that stadium. And now
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is string. He's a backup to
A
a
50,
backup
hey, a
to
50
another
million,
backup.
a $50 million backup, mind you. Yeah.
If I'm the New York Giants,
I
this
fire, I
draft
fire
coming
my
up,
general manager. I fire my general
yes,
manager to be real with you. Because why would you give
yes,
that man that contract? Okay, because look, this is my thought process. If I'm a GM and I know the guy that we have is not it, but you're thinking, but who are we gonna get? Your only option is to be bad so you can draft the truth, right? So it really doesn't matter who you have. Why would you pay $50 million to a guy that you know is not it? I don't give a fuck. Look, I really don't care if salary cap is up and 50 million nowadays. It's in the middle. It's not that much. And yeah, I don't care. Do you see anybody paying Jameis Winston $50 million?
hell no,
No.
hell
And
no.
that's exactly where the New York Giants should have been at. They should have been with a Jameis Winston or one of those guys like that to ride for this year, cut that man, cut your losses, and go and get the true later. You know what I mean?
And the
But
sad thing about this is Jameis Winston is not a backup at all. Jameis Winston is one of
mm,
those more slept quarterbacks that, and I say this
mm,
because I've seen him.
mm,
I've seen him develop. He was a Saint. He was
no,
on numerous teams.
no.
Jameis Winston is a good backup quarterback.
He okay. Jameis Winston, and we will get into this game later, but just for the sake of it, he is a quarterback that he can shine like every 7 or 8 games he'll have one. And then he shows you who he really is with the interceptions, with the turnovers, with the he's a motivational speaker, hell of a motivational speaker.
I'll give
But
him that.
but nah, playing football, all that, nah. Nah, man. I'm sorry. No eating W's around
Man, we had a lot of 1 o'clock games on Sunday, and
here.
I'm
Sure
going. I'm
did.
not going to go in order. I'm just
Hmm.
going to go into the games that meant something to me and it meant something to you.
Okay.
Diving into week 11, the New Orleans Saints. We've been ragging about this team. We've been getting on them about what the hell are they doing, their coaching staff, their GM, from the GM to the owners to the coaching
Listen,
staff to the players.
listen, listen, listen. New Orleans, y'all, y'all like to antagonize me. I believe that's what it is. I believe to the core that you like antagonizing your fan base, that you like pissing us off. Look, there are gonna be some fans out there that's like, oh, they're winning games. This is great, but it's not because we don't have a quarterback. B, we don't have a head coach. C, we barely have any wide receivers. D, our offensive line is atrocious. So, with all that being said, what is the best case solution for that? Get the best possible draft spot you can get because you lost 7 in a row. There's no redeeming this. No matter how bad the NFC South is, no matter how many times they say, oh, look, you're only a game and a half behind the Falcons. I don't care, right? This is something that y'all really need to pay attention to because guess what? Rizzy, he's not going to be the next hardball. He's not going to be that special teams coach that comes over and he's a great head coach. He might be a great coach, but a head coach he is not. And that's what y'all need to look at because that's the same damn thing you just did with Dennis Allen. He was a great defensive coordinator. and he'll go and be a great defensive coordinator somewhere else. But a head coach, he is not, right? You're making them look good because you just beat the Browns and you beat the Falcons, a team that on their best day anyone could beat. Because the Falcons, they are shaky at best. And
We
the
saw that on
Browns, and the
Sunday.
Browns, you beat the Browns with a guy in Jameis Winston who was on your team for 2 years, who you knew what he was capable of, you knew what he would do, and you had guys pick him off. Great. Great. That's fantastic. You should pick off someone who you know what they're going to do. But I'm telling you, don't try to. It's over. It's over. Because even if you get into the playoffs by some great imagination, you're going to lose. And then what's going to happen? Now you're sitting at like 15, 16, 17. Instead of sitting in the top five where you should have been all along. You don't even, like, this will piss me off. You don't even know how to lose right.
They sure don't. They
Like,
sure
bro,
don't.
what are you doing?
What the hell was that? I mean, I get that they're trying to fight. Let's go to the Falcons because they got they. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. They got their asses kicked this weekend. Sorry, Atlanta. The Broncos. The Broncos. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the Broncos beat
Let me
y'all.
tell you. Let me tell you. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? The Falcons are pretenders. They are pretenders at very best. And okay, Sean Payton, we all know he knows the Falcons like the back of his hand. So he takes the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. He goes in and he dominates the Falcons. But this is what I'm saying. The Broncos aren't gonna win shit this year, man. We all know this. And so when you take a loss to the Broncos like that, what does that say about you? And at this point, you
That's
have to
saying,
wonder. You
I'm going to
have to
tell you what
wonder.
that's saying.
Hold
I'm going
on.
to tell you what that's saying. Go
At this
ahead.
point, you gotta wonder when are they gonna pull the plug on Cousins and put Penix in. That's what you have to wonder.
I was just about to say that. And that's my point right there. Why the hell did y'all bring Kirk Cousins over here and you drafted Michael Penix Jr.? Kirk Cousins ain't it. He wasn't it in Minnesota. What made
Look at it.
Atlanta? What made Atlanta think? Oh my God, we see Kirk Cousins taking us to the Super Bowl. Let's
Listen,
go get him
listen,
a big contract and bring him to Atlanta.
listen.
Why draft Michael Penix
You,
Jr.?
you had two major strikes against this man. The team that drafted him didn't want him. The team that paid him all that money decided they didn't want him anymore either. And now you got Sam Darnold going over there trying to act like he's the next coming to Joe Namath. Like this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man.
And this is a guy that had an MVP. I don't see that anymore. And, I
Nah,
don't know what the heck
nah.
happened with
I
Sam
told you.
Darnold.
I told you I was gonna fall off, man. Because it's
You
Sam
did.
Darnold. It's Sam Darnold, man. Like we already know what he is. Dog, look at what I'm saying. All these, and this seems to be like a curse. If you go to the Panthers at any point in your career, your career's over after that, bro. Because
Pretty much. Yeah.
look what happened to Cam. Cam was cold. Come on, bro. And look what the Panthers did him. Bro, this man said his son went with him to the Panthers facility for something. And his son asked him, "Hey dad, how come there are no pictures of you anywhere?"
What does that say about you?
You feel me? Because who's a great Panther?
Yeah.
Quarterback wise. Nobody. Cam Newton was the Panther.
Yeah.
And
Now
they
look
showed
at him.
no respect to that man. It's crazy, man.
The man, I mean, staying the Cam Newton led the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl. You didn't win, but you went to the Super Bowl.
You didn't win, but you did get there. You feel me?
The worst quarterback of the week, ladies and gentlemen, this week is going to Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry. I have to give it to Kirk Cousins. What the hell were you doing? What were you doing on Sunday, Kurt? Was your vision that blurry? You couldn't see the receivers, and your running back couldn't run the ball. Why did you bring these? And then you bring Matthew Judon from New England to try to spice up your defense, and y'all get your asses kicked by Bo
Listen,
Nix.
listen. Matt, Kirk Cousins. I was about to say Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins is what we always knew him to be. He's like a little bit better than Derek Carr, but not much. It's like if Derek Carr was here, he would be like right here, but it's not that much of a gap. You know what I'm saying? Like he sucks, man. It is what it is.
This is the evolution. This is where I put. You got Derek Carr. You got Kirk Cousins. You got Jared Goff. They're trying to get to that Jared Goff of a level type playing quarterback,
And
and Jared
honestly,
Goff.
he not all that. I think that's a Dan Campbell production. That's what it is. Dan Campbell
Speaking
has
of a
figured
Dan
out his
Campbell
strength.
production,
Yeah,
we seen that Sunday, and I get it. They played the Jaguars, but they beat
yes,
their ass too.
yes.
They blew them out 52-6.
Look, man. Look. What it comes down to, and I realize this. And okay, but entertain me for a second, okay? People always say that it's not who you beat because you can only beat who they put in front of you, right?
Right.
Okay. By that standpoint, I get it. If you have a shit team, a shit schedule in front of you, then if you dominated, then that's not your fault. Which is that's their fault for sucking, right? Now,
hmm
I'm gonna go into why I think this is just a bunch of BS, and why this is why I say Drew Brees was the GOAT. Look at who this man had to play against just to get to the Super Bowl, and then look who he beat in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right? He had Kurt Warner in the Arizona Cardinals. He
Yeah.
had Brett Favre, he played his best year ever with the Minnesota Vikings that
With the
year.
Minnesota Vikings that year, right?
And then the legendary Peyton Manning, you beat him in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
But then you go and look at a dude like Tom Brady and look at the quarterbacks that he's beaten and look at the quarterbacks he's lost to in the Super Bowl. And you mean to tell me that man is better than Drew Brees?
No,
I'll
no.
wait.
I mean,
I'll
Drew Brees is a
wait.
GOAT. He's one of my GOATs. He's one of my greatest of all time quarterbacks in the NFL. Next to, sorry to say, y'all, Dan Marino. I got to put him up there too. One of my GOATs. And you know what I'm saying? But these quarterbacks and these coaches, you said it. Jared Goff, for prime example, we're seeing the Dan Campbell experience. We're
Yeah,
seeing the reason why Dan Campbell wanted Jared Goff to be his quarterback in the first place. He's mending him to take his time. He's mending him to be smart. Yeah, he got Sonic and Knuckles in the backfield. Yeah, you got Amon St. Brown
yeah,
and a bunch of talented receivers over there. Your defense is amazing. You
yeah.
got a Darius Smith. When y'all get Aiden Hutchinson back next year, that defense is going to be a problem.
Problem. Yeah. So do me a favor, real quick. Who is the University of Oregon's head coach?
Hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Just look that up for me. Tell me who the University of Oregon's head coach is.
The University of Oregon's head coach, and I know where you're going with this.
Do
And I'm
you?
going to
Do
say this.
you?
I
Do
do.
you?
I do. And here's what I'm going to say about that
Uh-huh.
right now, because I'm moving on to this game right now. And I know you're going to agree with me on this one. Dallas, you need to call that man.
Nah.
Call him.
No. No. Dallas don't need to call shit because the way he makes that team operate. And look, this may be my bias. New Orleans needs a coach, but New Orleans ain't finna get a coach like O'Du from Detroit or Belichick or none of those coaches. They need a young coach like old boy from Oregon
Like from
to
Oregon.
come
Yeah,
in there
he's a
and
great coach.
build his team the way that he needs to and the owner in New Orleans is going to allow him to do that. He goes to Dallas.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. I mean, there's a lot of teams in the
Right.
NFL right
If
now that's looking for a head coach.
if he goes to Dallas, all you know what happens to every coach that goes to Dallas. They can't because Jerry Jones is right there. What you doing? What you doing? Huh? Huh? Oh nah, I want this guy. Like it's crazy. Let them run their team. And while we're
Yeah.
talking about Dallas, let's get on to the Dallas and Houston game.
Oh my God. I'm gonna let you start this one off because that game was amazing. Go ahead, brother.
Listen. You can't look. What did CJ Stroud say? Hey man, I praise y'all and everybody above me. You know what I mean? Like let that man cook. They are not stopping him. Dallas, you go in there with Cooper Rush. What did you think you were gonna do? Honestly, against an elite defense like that, against a quarterback that knows this man plays like he's been in the league 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He's efficient. He gambles when he needs to. He knows who's open at all times. Man, he's a great quarterback. And Dallas did not stand a chance. I've been telling everyone from day one, they are pretenders. You put $95 million of your entire roster funds into two players. It's two players. And what did that get you? Because now Dak is out. You know what I'm saying? Which is where 60 of that went. He's out. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I think it's not efficient at all to have your owner be your GM. That's the dumbest thing that could ever happen.
here I was waiting to talk about this. Jerry Jones. You go on these radio stations every week.
Yeah.
You gotta lose a home game every week. And you sound senile, you sound delusional. You sound like you don't know what you're talking about or what's gonna come out your mouth next.
Yeah.
Forget about how the New York teams packed them both. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Fuck the Giants and fuck the Jets. I gotta agree with that too. I agree with that. Shout out to our viewers watching. But let's get back to Dallas. Dallas. Jerry Jones is fucking senile. And I
Yeah.
say this because you go on these radio stations and you talk like you don't know what's going on with your organization. It's in front of you.
Good.
You did sign Derrick Henry when you had a chance. That was number one.
Yep.
You should have kept Amari Cooper in my eyes. That's
It,
number two. I
yeah.
get that you wanted to pay CD Lamb, but you pair him up with somebody like Amari Cooper who's stopping those two.
Yep.
Then you let go Tony Pollard. He just walked out the door. You let Tennessee pick him up. The Titans?
The Titans?
Really, Jerry Jones? Really? And I'm gonna keep going because it makes no sense that each week that we come on here and we talk about Dallas, we gotta talk about Jerry Jones and how delusional he is.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there in the skybox. Were you impressed? What did you expect to
He
win
get
that game against
bro,
Houston?
he gets so mad. He gets so mad, and I don't understand why you would get so mad. If you look around you in the NFL at the teams that are up here, and you look at the teams that are down here where you at, you will see the big difference. You will see that they are not putting dog. Why would you give Dak Prescott $60 million, bro? Even Patrick Mahomes don't get paid like that.
No! Not even Josh Allen's getting that much money.
Look, man, if he really wanted to lock down Dak Prescott, I would have given him a similar deal to Patrick. And this is
Yes.
I wouldn't give him a deal period because he sucks. But I'm saying if you wanted to give him 50 over 10, right? You got $500 million right there. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not gonna say Dak Prescott sucks.
He
Because if you
does
put him
stuff.
if you put him in a different organization, bro, he's gonna do better than what the hell he's doing in Dallas.
But look, ifs, ands, or buts, like it's none of that. Because right now he's with Dallas. You know what I mean? Right? Look, they touted this man to be the next great thing after he, trashed Tony Romo for his job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
We are talking about how delusional Jerry Jones is. Like, get over it. We know that you're not going to the playoffs. We know that you're not going to have a good season. You haven't won a home game all year. All year.
Oh, man, you sure right.
No,
That's
they haven't won a
crazy.
home game
They
all year. Do
defeated.
my
They
research, bro.
defeated that.
Every team that comes in Dallas and played Dallas in Dallas is expecting to win in Dallas. Why? Because they're not coached properly.
Yeah, no.
You're missing pieces. Then your coach. I get that he's a Super Bowl winning coach. We get that in Mike
But
McCarthy.
see,
But
he's
he
the
is
same thing
looking
as Aaron Rodgers,
confused.
though. He's the same
Yes.
thing as Aaron Rodgers, bro. He look, and that's why Jerry Jones hired him because he was a Super Bowl winning coach. Because we gonna bring a winning attitude to the Dallas Cowboys, bro. No, stop that. You had to look at what Green Bay had that year against what you had, and it's not the same. It is not the
it,
same at
it,
all.
it's really not the same because it's like, what is going on? When are you going to get it, Jerry, that you need to step away? Step aside.
That man
Let
is gonna
somebody else
look.
be the general manager. Look at what the Jets did. They just fired their GM.
Let
Step
me let
aside,
me
Jerry, and let somebody else call the shots.
let me make a. I'm gonna make a prediction right here. Okay, Jerry Jones is probably gonna die at the draft table. Like that is what's gonna happen. He's not, and this is not me being like vulgar or messed up. This is me speaking facts. The man is not going to step away until he's forced to.
It's just a sad thing to watch.
It is.
To
It
me,
really is.
the game of the week to me was the Ravens against the Steelers. That was the game of the week to me. Shout out to the Steelers for going
Yeah.
up and getting that dub. Shout out
Yep.
to Mike Tomlin for coaching those guys properly. I see why you got Fields and Wilson. I see that tandem getting better come playoff time. I don't know
Yeah,
who would
man.
you start in the playoffs, but you can start with either or, and they're both gonna get you some points on the board. Talk to me about
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yo, man, I said it before, man. Tomlin, he's kind of genius because he's going back, right? Everybody's looking at moving forward, moving forward. What's the new thing? What's the new thing? He's going back to an old cliche routine. We're gonna go with
Yes,
two
he is.
quarterbacks, one that can run and spread the option, the other one that can throw that bitch down the field, and it works. It works. And I think he got it from college. He's seen what Taysom Hill does for the New Orleans Saints. And so he went and got him a
Mhm.
Taysom Hill. He went
Yeah,
and
he
got him a
did.
Taysom Hill, man. And it's working for them.
I was bragging about this. I didn't think the Steelers was going to be this good going into these weeks. I counted them out the playoffs. Now I got to put them back up there because it's like the other teams that you see in the AFC. Like, what are y'all doing? What are
Yeah.
y'all doing? Minus Buffalo, minus Kansas City, minus Baltimore. Even though they lost to
Minus
Pittsburgh, I'm gonna put
Houston.
this minus
Minus Houston.
Houston, minus Houston. It's like everybody else. What are y'all doing?
But you notice what you just did, bro. You just broke down the playoff picture, bro. You know what I'm
I did,
saying?
and you
You
know
just
who? And
broke
you know
down the
what team?
playoff picture.
You know what other team I got to put in there that I slept on that you've been telling me about and I got to give you credit for? The Chargers.
Yeah,
The
man.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Them hardballs know what they doing, bro. Like
Yeah.
I gotta. Justin Herbert is just every time I watch this kid play,
He on a new
and I
level.
watch him, and I watch him in college, bro, and I'm like, this guy, he's gonna have an arm. Whoever pick him up, better utilize him right. And what the Chargers are doing, letting go that head coach that they had last year and bringing in. Harbaugh after he won a championship in Michigan last year and all that diabolical mess that they were going on in Michigan and them trying to get him out. Harbaugh coming back into the NFL after playing against his brother in the Super Bowl. Where do you see the Chargers? What's in the Chargers' future moving forward?
I don't think it's the Super Bowl this year, but I do believe give it 2 or 3 years, and they're gonna be a real Super Bowl contender. Because Justin Herbert hasn't really had that teacher that can, you know, show him the ropes just yet. But now he got
Right.
him. Now he got him. And he's going to be something serious to deal with. And you're already seeing it. You're seeing the traits that Harbaugh is trying to instill in him. You're seeing the
Mhm.
different things with the call, the play calling, and the reading the defenses, and he's coming along, man. He's learning when to throw balls away, when to try to force it. He's learning all of that to be more precise, and that's what's going to make him better.
San Francisco, I'm about to rag on y'all too because they're like, oh, we're getting Christian McCaffrey back. Oh, we're getting Christian McCaffrey back. We're getting our players back. Oh, we
Boo.
play the Seahawks. You let Geno Smith beat y'all this week.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
See, Gino is one of those quarterbacks that is like, he's okay, right? But he's not great. And all right, baby. And he's not great, right? But he's just good enough. You remember how I said, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, you probably got Geno Smith like right here, but like just a little bit, not too much, but he's
Yeah, yeah, I agree
he's
with
he's
that.
in that same bunch, right? So yeah, okay, you got to win. Great. And honestly, they're making what's their quarterback? San Francisco. They're making him
Brock
look bad.
Purdy.
Him, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
They're making him bad, bro. And it's
I said this
not.
last year about San Francisco. That one Super Bowl was it for them.
Mhm.
I don't see them going back anytime soon because Detroit got better. You got a lot of teams that could get better in the NFC,
Mhm.
and but the way that they're playing, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good.
Yeah, it's not, man.
I mean, the Rams got a victory this week. I mean, I know they played the Patriots, but we got to talk about these two catches. The Rams, Nakua coming back, and the Steelers. Mike Tomlin. The way that these guys are winning these football games. Talk to me. What was the play of the week to you?
Ooh, I think that Puka Nakua catch, man. That was great. Look, that catch, you put that up there with the Odell Beckham catch for different
Yeah,
reasons. But that catch, that was it too. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like if you cannot teach effort any more than you can. So that's that. That's my pick.
That's my pick too. That's talent right there. Like that catch. When I was sitting back watching this game and I saw that catch, I'm like, wow, did he just really catch that? Are they gonna
Yeah,
review that? Because that's a catch.
yeah.
That was a catch. Now, hmm, I'm looking at some of these games and I was like, wow, wow. The Dolphins, you beat the Raiders. I get it. It's the Raiders.
It's the
The
Raiders.
Vikings, you beat the Tennessee Titans. It's the Titans.
It's the Titans.
We get it.
So
They're not
look,
going
so
anywhere.
I got something better. I got something better because look, Mike Vrabel, he's definitely one of those guys that are being looked at for head coaching. Where do
Yeah.
you see Mike Vrabel going? Where do you see him ranking?
Mike Vrabel, go to New York. Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets. And I say this
Okay.
because of this. Go to the Jets because Mike Vrabel, he could change that defense.
Yeah,
He's not afraid to get into the quarterback's face. He played with Brady, so he know
yeah.
what greatness looks like. I can see a relationship with Mike Vrabel and Aaron Rodgers next year.
But the problem is, man, Aaron. I don't know how much I believe in Aaron Rodgers, and the reason I say that is I don't think he's a team guy. He's not trying to go out there and teach young guys. You got to get a young quarterback. Aaron Rodgers not going
Yeah.
to be in the league for another 4, 5, 6, 7 years. He got maybe two at the most. You know what I mean? So what are we doing if you're not going to get another quarterback? If you're not trying to plan for your future, and you can't have a quarterback sit behind Aaron because we've seen how that goes.
That's true.
You see what
That's
I'm
true. I got a
saying?
question for you. This draft is gonna be hot this week. And the two hottest players that everybody is talking about is them boys in Colorado. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders. Where do you see these boys going?
1 and 2,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. I think honestly, I think Shador Sanders goes number one. And the reason I say that is because not only his talent and everything, but you got to remember who his father is. His father has connections all over the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He will call those guys in and be like, "Hey, the Doris Sanders better than my son. Come take a look at my son." I promise you, this kid will have the representation needed to skyrocket him to the top.
If you was Deion Sanders and your son was Shador Sanders,
Mhm.
where would you want to see your son play in the NFL?
Ooh. So you got to think an established team that maybe all they need is a quarterback, right? Maybe a team that has some vets on it, but not just over the top, too old vets, but has been in the league maybe 5, 6, 7 years. Oh
If
man,
I'm if I'm
that
Deion Sanders, I'm gonna answer
Miami.
my own question. I'm gonna give you time to answer that. If I'm Deion Sanders and my son is Shador Sanders, and I got all these teams in the NFL, and
Mhm,
I'm looking for a quarterback,
mhm.
it is time to move over Trevor Lawrence. Move over because there's a new sheriff in town in Shador Sanders.
Ooh, you know what? I'm with you. I'm in the same state as you. I'm just with a different team, Miami.
Ooh.
Because we look Tua, he's not long for this game, man.
And I
It's
feel
gonna it's
bad
it's
for
gonna be
Tua.
it's gonna be another Andrew Luck situation, right? And I
Yeah.
think Miami knows that. I would not be surprised to see them trade up to get Shador Sanders. But the problem is, can Shador learn how to behave and be himself and in Miami? That's the problem, right? So, but if he can, that's a perfect structure, man. They got young players, they have good leaders, they just need that quarterback.
You don't think his father's gonna be a part of that coaching staff as that boy gets drafted? You know Dion gonna be
So so
right
look, so
there.
look, so look, so look. Coincidentally, right? He goes, "Oh, I will never be in the NFL." Blah, 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 blah. He's going wherever his son goes. And how much do you want to bet that with all these head coaching jobs coming open, he's going to get a head coaching job, and then he's going to trade to get that number one pick to pick his.
Of course. Of course.
How much you
Of
want to
course.
bet? I guarantee that's what happens. Mark my words, bro.
Now if I'm Travis Hunter, a player like Travis Hunter, I can see him going, don't go to Atlanta. You ain't gonna cut
Please,
it there. Don't
please
go
don't
to
go to Atlanta.
Atlanta. If I'm a, and I can see him in Arizona.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
see him with Kyler Murray, and they got Marvin Harrison Jr. and you put Travis Hunter with them.
yeah. That'd be
What?
mad. That would be nasty.
Yeah.
That'd be nasty.
Man, mm, mm, mm. Top five teams of the week. I'm gonna start this off. Number five to me right now is Kansas City. You just lost to Buffalo. You were going in there undefeated. Buffalo was going up this week,
Hmm.
but I got Kansas City at number five because when that talent comes back, they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. They might even go to the Super Bowl three-peat with all them pieces. Until we see that underdog bring them down, Kansas City is number five.
Yep.
Number four this week. Number four to me is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hmm.
Mike Tomlin grinded out. You played Lamar Jackson. They didn't utilize Derrick Henry enough in this game, which they should have. You had receivers dropping the ball. You got a tight end Isaiah Likely who was trying to bring you back in the game but couldn't do it. Shout out to Steelers Nation. Y'all number four. Number three. Number three is going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Getting that first place spot, taking over the NFC least, aka the NFC East. Now y'all number one. Let's see what y'all can do with it. Number two is going to the Buffalo Bills. Going in there, beating the world champions in your own home. We all know the history of Allen and Mahomes. We've seen it, and I think we're gonna see more.
Yep.
We have not seen the last of these two playing against each other. My numero uno team this week, and I gotta give the kid credit. It is going to the Houston Texans and that boy CJ Stroud.
Yes,
Gotta
sir.
give it to him because I said this last week. When they get one of their receivers back, they're gonna be a dangerous team. Nico Collins came back last night and picked up where he left off.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Come on, man, you gotta give the kid credit.
I I
Team,
I agree.
my number
I
one
agree with your
quarterback
top
right
five.
now, top five, CJ Stroud.
I
So,
agree.
any of my viewers who watching, if you got your own top five, you could gladly put it in the comments. You can grade. Shout out to our viewers on Instagram. Please put your top fives in there. Let me know what y'all think about my top five. And moving forward, we're gonna grade them as we each go on. I think I got an A plus this week in this top five. That's just me. So that's my top five. Let me know your top five, and we'll discuss it next week. All Pro Digital coming so big as 100 yards a run. That's my boy.
Yes,
DC,
sir.
look out for that. Shout out to All Pro Digital. They're going to be doing their thing. That's another thing that y'all should be looking up for. So stay tuned. They got some special things coming up. Also, got some special things coming up. My brothers in the Family Meeting Podcast. We got some special things coming up for y'all. Shout out to my
Yeah.
brothers. Shout out to Over the Barricade this Saturday coming up. We got a lot to talk about wrestling wise, but let's get back into this football. Man, so my top five. Who's your
Wait,
top five this
can
week?
can can I shout out something real quick while I'm in the
Of course,
background?
my
What's
brother. Yeah,
up?
of course. We give a shout out. Feel free.
I want to shout out the New York Giants for finally sitting fucking bum ass that bum ass quarterback sitting them. They benching them finally. Okay, continue.
I mean,
Hey
yeah,
man, look,
yeah.
it wouldn't be an episode if we didn't have Mel popping in and saying some dumb shit about the Giants every now and then. You know what I mean?
I
It's
mean,
just the
shout
way
out to
we.
my brother, man. Shout out to Mel for doing the thing in the background. But yeah, that's my top five, man. And like I said, I'm feeling good about my top five. My list is fluid. It's only gonna get better. So,
Yeah.
what you
Look,
grade that
man,
top five there, my brother?
that's a great top five. I would give it a B minus though, because you put the Chiefs in your top five and they took an L. Nah, man, you don't get to be in the top five if you took an L. You know what I'm saying? This has to go to the winning organizations of the week. You know what I'm saying? And look, you only got one L, so keep working, keep working. You're
Who would
only
you
halfway
replace
through the
Kansas
season.
City with?
Whoo, you know what? Out of GP, I would put the Saints there because y'all. And you know what's crazy about this game? The Browns had more yards than them. They had
Yeah.
more. They had more passing yards. They had less turnovers. They had look, and they still managed to lose. So I don't know if they lost the game or if the Saints won the game. But either way, good for y'all. Y'all got that win. Now let's go. Let's keep it up.
Oh man, week 12 is it's some interesting games. And like my brother said, they benched Daniel Jones. The Giants got the Bucks next week in MetLife Stadium. Where,
Yeah.
what do you see happening in this game? I mean, they're 2-8. You bench Daniel Jones finally after being 2-8. Can Tommy DeVito come in this week and get a W over the Tampa Bay Bucks?
I don't think so. I think the Bucks, they're one of those teams. They're gonna be average when it's all said and done. But the Giants are just so bad right now. It's so bad. They have a lot of stuff they need to work out. So I get this into the Bucks.
You know what game I'm interested in next week?
What's that?
Cowboys Commanders
Commanders gonna
again,
whoop that ass, man.
again, again. I want to see what Jerry Jones is going to say this week. What is
Yeah,
going to come out your mouth this week, Jerry?
the same thing that come out his mouth every week.
Are you going to be? Are you just going to be like, I just don't get it? You know who I feel bad for in Dallas? It's those players on the
Yeah,
defense. It's players like Micah Parsons. It's players like Dexter Lawrence, who's been there, and Kyle Van Oy is another one who tried to come in there and tried to change that culture, and look where it's getting them.
yep.
But then they're sitting there with all this talent, but you're watching your quarterback and your wide receiver make more money than y'all
Not really making a difference on the team either.
at all. We seen it week 2 with them two arguing on the sidelines. I said, and I knew it, and I told you this. I said Dallas is not going to be a good team this year, and they're not going to make the
Nah,
playoffs. They are not going to make the playoffs. Hmm. The Jets, y'all got a bye week. Y'all firing y'all coach. Get it together. Thursday
firing your
night,
GM.
firing your GM. Thursday night football. We got Steelers Browns rivalry.
No, no, no. That's one of those games that you're only watching if you're a Steelers or a Browns fan. That's what that is. The Steelers are gonna win. We all know this.
The Super Bowl is looking like it's like we said it like those top two teams, Detroit, Kansas City.
Hey
That's what
man,
it's looking like
let's go Detroit. You know what I mean?
until somebody knocked them off. Until a team like Houston could be like, no, 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 we here. We can make some noise too.
Yeah,
Who's your dark horse team in the playoffs?
Houston. Houston's that team because Houston and the Commanders. Because how crazy would it be if a team with a rookie quarterback got to the Super Bowl? How crazy would that be?
It, it would be a first to see a rookie come in this year, being the Heisman Trophy winner, taking his team to the Super Bowl, and actually winning.
Yeah,
That would be a first to see. But unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see it.
yeah,
Because look at Detroit. Look at Detroit. Detroit's defense was great, and now it just got better with the addition of Zadarius Smith.
yeah.
Who's going to stop those boys? It's not the 49ers. It's not going to be the Vikings. Not going to be the Buccaneers either.
It could be the Commanders, man. It could be only up to the Commanders. That's matter of fact, that's who I see in the NFC Championship, the Commanders and the Lions.
Mm. I mean, it could be, but I just can't. As much as I want to sleep on them, I can't. You can't count out Philly. You can't count out Saquon Barkley. You can't count out the Eagles. You can't count out those wide receiver duel and Brown and Devontae Smith. We've seen it week by week, and we're still seeing it until somebody stops them. When Brown came back and when Smith came back from injuries, from them being injured, being out 2 weeks in a row, getting them back, it was a relief for Jalen Hurts. Because think about it, and I say this because they kept utilizing Saquon. Saquon was saving them some games to win those football games.
Mhm.
Now you get your whole team back and they healthy.
Yeah.
Lost faith in the Giants after Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, a lot of people lost faith in the Giants
Yeah.
since Eli Manning won those two Super Bowls against
Yeah.
Tom Brady and the Patriots. Once Eli Manning left, and the best coach to ever coach the New York Giants, to me, you got to give this man credit. He's in Jacksonville now. Got to get him out of there.
Tom
Tom Coughlin,
Coughlin. Yeah.
one of the best coaches that the Giants had. I bet you if Tom Coughlin was still coaching the Giants right now and he had an opportunity to keep one of those players and Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, I guarantee you we will see Daniel Jones out the door and Saquon Barkley would still be a New York Giant to this day.
Yeah.
Because it's unacceptable. And I've been trying to give this coach credit too. And y'all was like, nah, he's trash. He's not a great coach. He's not. I gotta give you your credit, bro. And you got another one over me, Brian Dable. Brian Dable needs to go.
Yeah,
He's
man.
gotta go because he's looking confused too. He don't know what he wants to do. He doesn't
Yeah.
know who he wants to start. I'm gonna give you. What are your final thoughts on this topic?
Look, man, the Giants need to take a picture out of their neighbor's little cheat book and do everything. Get rid of your coach, get rid of your GM, get rid of your quarterback. Find a new system because the one you have now, it's not working.
Here's my final thoughts of the week and this week. Teams that got to get it together needed to get it together. The Giants, the Jets, Saints, Jacksonville. Start over. Listen to what I'm saying. If you want to get better in the draft, and we've been saying this about the Saints and a couple of teams
Yeah.
moving on. If you want to get better in the draft, lose the rest of these games
Yep.
because you're not going to the playoffs. You're not going to the Super Bowl. You might make the wild card and play a top tier team and get smacked out of the first round. We've seen it from Seattle. We've seen it from Arizona. We've seen it from Atlanta. We're gonna get those teams that get hot every year,
Hmm.
and their momentum is gonna stop with a team being better than them. I want to thank my viewers for watching. Tune in as we discuss Week 12 in the National Football League, and we're gonna do something special this year. We got Christmas games coming up. We got Black Friday games coming up. Tune in because I'm gonna be live right here. We're gonna live those games and we're gonna talk about those games.
Yes,
As
sir.
soon as they go off the air, we are going on the air. Special edition of 100 Yards of Running, holiday edition coming up. I want to thank my viewers for watching. I want to thank my brother for tuning in this week. I want to thank my brother Mel Walker for being the motherfucking engineer for this show for this week. Nah, but seriously, thank my viewers. I want to thank all of you. I appreciate you all.
I said, don't thank me. This is all y'all, man.
Much love, bro. Much love. Until next week, man. I'll catch y'all next week. We out.